just thank you for the opportunity to be in the city meeting again. Father, we ask that we would just conduct ourselves in orderly and do what you have called us to do, and we just ask that you would use us, Lord, for your glory, for our community and not for each other. Lord, we ask that you would just remove self out the way, Father, and come to a reasonable communication between all. And we just ask this because we know that it's possible in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Bob?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you both.
Item number 1, consider approval of the minutes March 2nd, 2026.
Questions? Entertain a motion?
So made.
Second?
Have a motion and second. Please call roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Item number 2, consider approval or denial of claims for March 2026 to include WIDA numbers 21 through 24 and WIDA Junction project number 6.
Discussion?
I have a question on the 20,000 for the chamber. Did we not do 30 in the budget?
No, we said, I think 30 in the budget, but that was for all the events, not just the chambers. We
Okay.
anticipated 20.
Thank you.
Further discussions? Entertain a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Please call roll.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Rhonda, if we could actually skip 3 and 4 for just a minute and come back to them and go to number 5, the chairman's report. I need to, there's some people here that gotta go, and I need to recognize them.
Sure. Okay. We are going to move to item number 5, the chairman's report.
First off, I'd like to honor these two firefighters. On December 29th, 2025, firefighters Dalton Grooms and James McMahon responded to a residential fire that had fully engulfed the home. It was known that 2 occupants belonged to the residence, but none were outside upon arrival. Without hesitation, they entered the burning structure, facing intense heat and smoke to search for the victims. Through their courage and determination, they were able to locate and rescue both individuals. Both were transported to the hospital. While we are grateful one life was saved, we also pause to remember the life that was tragically lost months after. Their actions that day reflect the high standards of the fire service: bravery, selflessness, and unwavering commitment to others. I've been a Wagoner volunteer for 14 years, and it is very rare. We call it a save. Whenever you can save a life, it is very, very rare. We've talked to several guys that we have on there that are on in Tulsa, and it's a rare thing for Tulsa fire departments to even get a save. It's Dalton Grooms, James McMahon, both of you come in here. I've got your plaques made. I'm very proud of the both of you.
Lori can get it.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
One, two, three. Thank you.
You want to get one without him?
Yeah, better.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
I'll just say, if you don't know James McMahon, consider yourself lucky. Next off, to bring them back out here, the city, Thomas Applegate, it was his idea. We started a Wagoner City Bowling League. So all the departments got together. I told them that I would get them trophy. It's going to be, it'll stay here at City Hall every year. We'll add the champion to the trophy. This year was the fire department, so we got Dalton Grooms, gutter ball James McMahon, Brett Butler, Dale Watkins, and Craig Moore. Come on out here, guys. Hey, Bob, I'm sorry, but they told me I had to, who came in second?
I don't know.
He's so cute. I'm getting a picture. Brett? I'm getting a picture.
Come here, Matt.
Yeah, I know. Hey, Drew. She getting a lip. Give her a picture. Brett, give her a picture.
Oh, yeah, I thought McMahon was gonna trade in his saddles and ropes and horses and just be a professional bowler.
Picture take.
They're ate up with it.
A bunch of them are.
Yep, he did. It was, and that was Thomas's idea. I applaud him. That was a great morale booster, and the employees really loved it, so I appreciate that, Thomas. That's all I got on Chairman's report on WIDA. Thank you.
All right. Item number 3, consider accepting and approving audit for the City of Wagoner Economic Development Authority for the fiscal year ending 6/30/2025. Ralph Osborne, CPA, or take other action.
This is, are you wanting to present all at once, or?
Whatever you want to do.
Whatever we want to do. I mean, normally we start with the city meeting, but we started with WIDA tonight, so that can be
Yeah, I can just do WIDA and then we can do the rest.
Okay.
You want me to come this mic?
Yeah. Do you want to pull a chair up to that? Here, this one rolls here. Just slide up to this table here. We can move that mic. Man, I mean, it's freaking sweat. It's a little warm, isn't it? Bump it down a couple. Jim, please, thank you. She did. I know, that's a rare occurrence. Go ahead, ma'am.
First, I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Sarah Jackson. I'm Ralph Osborne's partner. I primarily work with the audit side of things. It's nice to meet all of you today.
I think it is on. Will you tap that and make sure it's on? Yeah.
I'll try to talk more directly into it.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. So our first page is just our cover letter. The next page begins our independent auditor's report. We had no findings that modified our opinion as to the financial statements, so this is just our standard letter. And it goes through page 2. Page 3 begins your management discussion and analysis. The only thing that we provide in this are the updated audit numbers. Okay. I'm not sure how much y'all are wanting me to go through on the MD&A, because the same numbers will be in the audit.
Okay.
Okay. I will skip down to where you guys have summary and conditions expected to affect next year. The City of Wagoner Economic Development Authority will continue moving forward on the Junction project, a new hub of excitement, entertainment, and a place for community activities. This project will be located on the east side of South Main Street, where many buildings were destroyed by fire and removed. This is another step towards bringing downtown Wagoner back to its former glory. The City of Wagoner Economic Development Authority continues its mission of growing industry while creating jobs and wealth for the city of Wagoner, along with promoting a cleaner image and setting into motion the property type and style desired by the community. Summary, the financial activities of WIDA for year ending 2025 have been audited and outlined as outlined in the trust's bylaws. Audit results show the WEDA is operating according to the bylaws and continues to promote economic development through its efforts. We had no issues with any of that. That summed up exactly how we felt about it. Page 5 will begin the financial statements for the audit. This is your statement of net position. As of June 30, 2025, the total current assets were $979,862. The non-current assets were $761,641 for total assets of $1,741,503. The total liabilities were accounts payable of $4,470 for your total net position of $1,737,033. Page 6 is your statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in net position. At the top, you've got total operating revenues, which included $1,500 of miscellaneous revenue. Operating expenses were $85,747. The non-operating revenue was transfers and interest income for $111,770 for a net income of $27,523. And your total net position ending of $1,737,033. Page 7 is your statement of cash flows. Total cash used by operating activities was $66,887. Total cash provided by non-capital and related financing activities was $83,491. Total net cash provided by investing was $1,942. Net cash provided by capital and related financing activities was $120,075 for your total net increase in cash and cash equivalents of $138,621 and a cash ending balance of $758,733. The reconciliation of the operating loss down at the bottom, your operating loss was $84,247. Once we add back the depreciation and the changes in assets and liabilities, the loss was actually $66,887. Page 8 begins the notes to the financial statements. This starts going over the entity, how it's created, the accounting policies you hold. I don't think these change until about page 10. At the bottom of page 10 shows your changes in capital assets. There were additions to depreciable assets of $30,625 for the year. For your capital asset balance net of accumulated depreciation for $641,441. Sorry. Page 11 goes over your notes receivable. This was paid in full during the 2025 fiscal year. So that's now as a zero balance for your notes receivable, and we noted no issues noted for your subsequent events. Page 12 begins our letter over internal control on compliance. This is again our standard letter because we noted no issues, and we had no findings to put in here. Anybody have any questions?
Any discussion? Entertain a motion?
So made.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Item number 4, presentation by John Chandler and Planning Design Group on the Junction project.
All right, council, for everybody in the crowd, I had intended to project, unfortunately, and apparently that can't be done. So I think we do have some copies of what the junction looks like if you didn't have a chance to get it. And I would pass this around because I think it's pretty cool looking. It's the front entryway to the junction. If you just pass that back, that's what you'll be looking at from Smoky Sisters. So we're at the end of what seems like it's been a long journey. We started talking about the junction 3 years ago. I remember approaching Tony Lowe and telling him I had just retired from Williams. I was downtown. I had overlooked the Guthrie Green. My office overlooked the Guthrie Green. And my heart told me that's what's got to go in that space because we had 31 empty buildings in downtown. And why would somebody build a new building when there's 31 empty buildings, other than Rebecca Olson, which looks fantastic, by the way. That building does. But and then why would anybody fix up the 31 empty buildings when you've got a burned out empty space? So something had to happen there. And to me, it felt like the right thing to do to put some kind of venue there that creates a lot of volume of traffic downtown, that looks very nice, that would encourage people to say, I want to invest in some of these buildings. And I think some of that's starting to happen. We'll talk about that. So here we are. I appreciate Tony running with that. Obviously, Tony's not with us anymore. I wish he was to see this come to fruition. But this is 2 years later, 3 years later, I'm not sure exactly. But we're at 98% drawing levels now, so I wanted to present this to you, just for you to have a chance to see it. And I'll talk timeline here in a minute, but we're getting very close to be able to put shovels in the ground and get going with this finally. So on the first page, you guys all know this. I put this in here for the crowd. It's the burned out space. We all know what we're talking about on that. So on the next slide, I want to talk a little bit about the junction design. And you'll see a drawing there. This is the original concept drawing from middle of last year, actually. So we're sticking with the same concept drawing. There's a few things that we aren't doing. I'll talk about that too. But on this drawing, so we're looking at this. So a couple of things. So from the bottom on North Main Street, I've learned that should say South Main Street. It would be as if you're standing at Smoking Sisters and looking across the street into the junction. That front area will have railroad tracks integrated in with flower beds and trees, so it'll tie in with kind of a railroad theme. The very center section, we'll look at in the next page, I believe it's the next page, a couple pages back, what the entryway will look like. Fantastic looking entryway into the junction. The center green section will all be turf. It's not going to be grass, so there's no mowing that's going to have to happen here. So it'll be a turf. On the outer edges of the junction will be a composite granite, so packed in granite, if you've been in parks and seen that, with picnic tables and arbor structures, and all the way to the north and the south, there'll be landscaping against both buildings. The red lines that you see in the granite, so in that lighter tan colored granite, the red lines you see will be stamped concrete, brick concrete, so just to give some contrast. Of course, the white that you see here are all concrete walkways. And then in the very center is the stage, and so we'll have an elevated stage, which I hope, my dream, is you have praise and worship bands there, you have paid bands there, you have local talent there, you have the high school jazz band there, you have choirs there. I'd love to see something happen there every week or 2 weeks downtown just to bring traffic. To me, that's a dream come true. Anyway, that's the junction as it stands now. In our original concept, we had a porta potty structure, not a porta potty, it was actually portable potties, I guess. It's remarkable how much it costs to build those kind of things. So that's not in here, by the way, so there's no bathrooms. I want to make it clear about that for now. Doesn't mean we can't bring porta-johns in, and someday I'd like to obviously see us do that. We also originally had the concept of a storage container. One other I'd say at the top of this picture behind the stage, there's a wall, so you won't see through the junction. When you look into the junction, you'll see a wall, you'll see some brick columns, which we intend to use brick from the burned out buildings if we can, to bring that history back alive in the junction. But you'll look back, you'll see a wall, so you won't see through. On the back side of that wall, we were going to put a storage type building. Originally, I think we had a concept of having speakers and stuff like that. The more I talk to people about that, they're like, let people bring their own stuff, because The minute you have that, now you have to have somebody there managing that. And, you know, the first time somebody plugs in, cranks it up and blows your speakers out, you just, that's not the way to do it. So we won't, that's not part of this design either. There's a couple other things that aren't going to happen here in the initial construction, or we're not going to put them in the initial bid just because I don't think we can afford it, and we'll talk about budget here in a second. But any questions about the Junction design? The next page is a rendering of kind of what the stage will look like. Very similar design to this, and it'll have, you know, brick instead of the rock. It'll have brick, and but it'll be just very, very similar to this design. And so that'll be the centerpiece. I would say the two centerpieces of the Junction will be the entryway, and then right behind it, you'll look and you'll see the stage. Okay? If you go to the next page, this is just architectural kind of concepts, just to get a look, feel for what the stuff will look like. So the railroad tracks embedded up in the top right, you see the railroad tracks embedded kind of in landscaping. That's what the railroad tracks will look like in the front, kind of something similar to that. The granite composite and the stamped concrete, you kind of see that at the top. There's some arbor structures that are in there. That's some examples of what those will look like. The seating, a lot of our seating will be granite rock, big rocks down at the bottom right. That's what we'll have set up around for people to set on. Now, there'll still be a lot of open space, and you know, I envision as we have music and people playing, I mean, they'll bring chairs. Someday, I could see the city maybe buying a bunch of chairs and letting different charities manage that and make money off that, to have chairs just lease out to people and check back in after the end of events. But that's down the road. And there'll also be, if you look at the bottom left, and if you go back all the way to the Junction design drawing again, you see above the granite, the light tan areas, you see a lot of crisscrossed lines. And so we're going to have elevated lighting with those kinds of lights above those outer areas.
Those are string lights, right, John?
String lights,
Yeah.
there'll be string lights. There's also, you know, to the extent we can and can afford to do it, there's going to be a lot of railroad theming stuff in there. And again, it's just going to be subject to how much money we've got. And as we go along, we'll see. On the next page, I have the entryway design. I talked to the architect again a little bit today. He thinks we probably can cover it with our budget that I'll talk about here in a minute, the full design. There was a discussion that we may not be able to afford the two wings, which has been disappointing to me. I would have probably found some money to help pay for those two wings, because that really makes the sign even that much better. But he thinks we've got that covered probably. So anyway, I think that's going to be a very attractive front entryway into the Junction. So cost, if you go to the next page. Okay, so I intentionally have a very long, detailed cost bid. I didn't put that here just because that's not smart. You know, we're going to be bidding this out. I don't want people to say, oh, they've got that much money in there for that. So I've lumped a lot of things together, but I've tried to give you a sense for what's in the budget. So I won't go through all these, but a couple of big things I will say, like the stage, we have $175,000 in there for the stage. Our design architect thinks we can probably do it for cheaper than that, but they've built contingency into each one of these items. The entry sign, we have $100,000 in for the entry sign. Originally, he felt like it'd cost $120,000 to build that entry sign. He thinks we probably can get it done for $100,000 for the full design. And anyway, I won't kind of wear you out with all the other stuff, but you know, there's railroad track and other features, picnic tables, trash receptacles, and all that kind of stuff. So the total, unfortunately, is $1,294,000. That includes the design fees, project surveys, geotechnical report, and design contingency. So $1.294 million. So what funding do we have right now? The city said they'd put $500 in. The county has said they'd put $400 in. My family said we put $300 in. I'll do another 50 just to get us closer to that number. So if we're at 1,250, if I need to, I'll do that. So if we're at 1,250 versus 1,294, my belief is through contingency well, a couple things. Through contingency or through grants, we'll be okay. And, you know, so the step now is to go out to bid on all these things. You want that number to be close enough to being affordable. Why go out for something if you can't afford it? So I think we're close to being able to say, hey, we can afford that. Let's see where the bids come in, because, again, there's contingency built in a lot of these line items. We have filed for 2 grants, just so you know. A TSET grant, which seems like we have a very powerful, in looking at what the grant is trying to fund, feels like we have a very powerful story about downtown revitalization. This project fits that pretty strongly. We'll see. Another is with the railroad. You talk about something that fits railroad grants. So anyway, appreciate the city pursuing that. We'll see if either one of those come in. That'd be $75,000 if we got both of those grants. So that would cover this gap too.
Are you sure is that a T-set, Whitley, or?
No, one of them's a railroad.
What? T-Mobile, yes.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
I should
just
choose my
wanted to
language
clear that
carefully.
up.
Yes, I should choose my language carefully. Yeah, it's T-Mobile, a T-Mobile grant. And it's for downtown revitalization. We haven't approached anybody else yet on funding too. It just seems right for someone to want to be associated with that, maybe to sponsor the stage and stuff like that. So we really haven't got to that point. Why would we want to do that? Well, there's some other things we'd love to, you notice on this list, there's excluded items. And just like your house, there's what you can afford and what you'd like to have, and there's the like to haves make it look even that much nicer, that much more fantastic. And I want it to be really fantastic because I want the average business owner to drive through there and say, oh, that's unbelievable. I'm in. I want to invest. So the more we can do with features to make it really pop, I think it's going to look great no matter what. But just the more we do, the better it is. So there's things that aren't in here. For example, a pump cart feature. If you look back at the original drawing, on the right of the drawing, there's a little pump cart. I think that'd be pretty cool if there's a little pump cart over there. So they're estimating $40,000 for a pump cart. I Googled it. It's probably a piece of junk. It seemed like you get one for $15,000 or $20,000, but what do I know? But railway signage, the more signage we can put up with railroad type stuff, that's like $23,000. There's some bench swings that we're leaving out at the very front of the drawings that are just under a little arbor type structure with little bench swings, $50,000 for those types of things. So anyway, and then louver arbors, those are over the picnic tables at the very back towards the stage on each side. I think we want those if we can get those. That I think will look pretty nice. So anyway, that's $218,000 worth of other items. So what we'll do is bid this out. We'll see how we come in relative to the contingency that we have built in. If we have room left over, we may flip a switch on a few more of these items and try to put them back in, just to make it that much nicer. Any questions about that? One other thing I would say that's not in here too, our architect has put a lot of extra work in, and this project is a lot bigger than when we started. When we started, it was I think a $900,000 project. And so he's been nice about it, so we can work it out. And I finally pinned him down and said, well, what's working it out? I mean, in your mind, we'll work it out, but I think he feels like, $18,000 is an amount that represents the additional work they've done. We'll talk that out with him over time, as this unfolds. He's not pounding a table or anything. Next, final page, timeline. So again, we're at 98% drawings. The only thing outstanding is some work on the electrical detailed drawings from our contractors, or not our contractors, from the design engineers working on that piece of it. As soon as that's complete, we'll be ready. And so April 17th is the date we hear that the construction drawings will be complete. We'll need to meet again with the city and Dalton and just make sure we're all buttoned up on what exactly is in the drawing package. Are we all comfortable we can pay for what we're going out to bid with? And then, so we'd go out for bid around April 30th. They're saying, 30 to 45 days of bid time on this. Bids accepted June 15th, so we'll come back here to, approve those bids at some point. I picked a date that isn't your regular meeting date. We'll have to see how that unfolds, whether we call a special meeting or do it at one of your normal meetings. But I just put June 15th as.
Oh, we won't have to be here for that.
Oh, okay.
Go open bids and then.
Okay.
I mean, we can call a special meeting to prove them, but
Yeah.
not for just the opening.
Okay. Well, and then, so that would put us in a spot for construction to begin June 30th. And they're saying leave 8 to 9 months for construction window. So that would put us in there March 1st, conservatively, just in time for spring. So I would think we'd have a Junction opening date on April 3rd, right at the beginning of spring, and away we go. Now, there's one big problem we're still dealing with, not problem, it's actually not as big a problem as I was worried about originally. The building to the south of the Junction has a wall that's in poor shape. It's been reviewed by 3 different structural engineers. Every one of them said the same thing. The wall has to be fixed. That building's uninhabitable until that wall's fixed. Originally, I thought the cost to fix that wall, based on an estimate we did way back in 2007, we, the city, did back in 2017 was $180,000 to rebuild the wall, which made me worry that makes that building unusable, potentially at that kind of cost, before you do anything else just to fix the wall. I've learned subsequent to that you could actually pull the mortar out, repack mortar in, and just put a surface on it. And the owner of the building had a quote that was in the $45,000 range. That changes the algorithm with that building all of a sudden if you can do something like that. So we started down the path, and we had a team, Debbie and Shane were working with me to figure out what are we going to do about this building. Is the city going to buy it? Are I going to buy it? Who's going to buy it? Do something to try to get that fixed, because it's got to be fixed. I'm scared to death to break concrete up while that wall's sitting there, not stabilized. And so, lo and behold, an investor showed up, excited about the Junction, excited about what Wagoner's doing, excited about all the new development, and it's been a long process with him. I think he's very, very busy. But I'll leave it for that person. I don't feel like I should say who it is because it's a private individual. And I also probably shouldn't say what they're going to put in there, but if they do, it's going to be very, very, very nice, what they're going to do with that building. And it'll fit in with the Junction nicely as well. And again, their interest is very much driven by anybody that's going to invest the amount of money we're investing in this space makes them say, hey, I'm going to make a bet on that building then. So we'll see. We're hopefully getting very close to that person moving, and hopefully something will happen here soon. If not, we may be back talking about that building, because that building's got to be fixed before we start. And if that person doesn't do something, somebody else is going to have to. So anyway, I just want to make sure you knew that was still out there.
Any questions for John? Appreciate you, John.
All
Thank
right.
you, sir.
Thank you.
Item number 6 is unscheduled public appearances.
There were none for WEDA.
Item number 7 is adjournment.
Entertain a motion.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. Please call roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned at 6:36. I'd like to call the City of Wagoner regular business meeting April 6th at 6:37.
Item number 3, consider approval of minutes of March 2nd, 2026.
Discussion?
Do what? Not
What is it?
usually.
Note if we're not going to call roll, at least note the council.
The councilmen that are absent.
Okay. So, for the record, Councilman North, Council Butler, and Councilman Higginbottom are not in attendance. Entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Yes.
Thomas, Hamilton,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Item number 4, consider approval or denial of claims for March 2026 to include numbers 189 through 207, manual warrants, ambulance to include numbers 113 through 125, manual warrants.
Discussion? Entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
All right.
Was
Debbie.
Debbie, okay, sorry.
Entertain a second.
Okay.
Ms. Renee. Please call roll.
Wright,
Yes.
Wilson,
No.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
We have 4 yeses, 1 no. Item number 5 is the mayor's report.
Yeah, so sorry, council, last month I was under the weather. did get to watch some of it. I know Eric did talk about the ruling on the Rural Water 6 lawsuit. That was a very, very huge win. As of right now, we sit, and I don't think we're actually 100% done with our legal, but we're looking at, we have spent $450,000 on our legal fees. Laura is working on the calculations of what we need to raise rural water 6 rates to. So I do anticipate that to be on here next meeting. We're getting ready for budget, hot and heavy in that. We're also, we've been starting on abatements already, mowing, getting after that. We had a meeting with me and Gordon and Eric and James, the abatement man, and his crew, and I think we're starting out pretty steady. He did have some questions about the contract that he didn't really understand on some stuff, but he had a really good crew, and I think they really understood it and really going to help him. So they've already knocked out, or about 99% done with the house on the north side of town, and they're fixing to be hot and heavy. Gordon and Whitley got them quite a few. So cleaning up the town and just staying busy. That's all I have.
Item number 6, consider accepting a bid and entering into a contract with Central Contractors, Inc. in the amount of $189,240 for Bollinger subdivision street improvements per recommendation from Infrastructure Solutions Group, LLC, or take other action.
Hello, council. This is the same agenda item that was on the last agenda. One of the things that the council did, they approved it contingent upon EODD's approval. Okay, we do have EODD's approval now. They have got their SAM's number. They have checked their disbarment, make sure that they're good there. And Department of Commerce wanted us to put it back on the agenda and approve it without the contingency.
Discussion? Now, this is for the grant. I'm doing the Bollinger addition with EODD to repave that addition, or Bollinger, excuse me. So I saw that part in the video.
And I said it wrong again, too.
Further discussion? Entertain a motion.
So made.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call roll.
Was Nate my second?
Yes.
Thank you. Wagoner,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Item number 7, consider approval of contractor's pay application number 9 in the amount of $208,283 from Darris Contractors, LLC, for WAG 23-02 wastewater treatment plant headworks per recommendation from Infrastructure Solutions Group, LLC, or take other action.
Council, this is a progress invoice from Darris Construction. They are almost completed with the project itself. I think by this schedule, it's going to be done by the end of April, first part of May, and they are doing very well out there. Our recommendation is to pay this progress invoice.
Discussion? Entertain a motion.
So made.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call roll.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Item number 8, consider approval of invoice number 1463 from Drake Construction LLC in the amount of $49,800 for WAG 19-01 Stormwater Project in sections per recommendation from Infrastructure Solutions Group LLC, or take other action.
Council, this is for the end sections for the stormwater boxes that was installed on the Martin Luther King and Van Buren. The work has been done. It looks very, very well. It's been completed, and our recommendation is to pay the contractor.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
I'll
So made.
I'll second.
Motion by Anthony, seconded by Debbie. Please call roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Item number 9, consider approval of change order number 1 from Haynes Equipment for wastewater treatment plant headworks improvements, materials only, per recommendation from Infrastructure Solutions Group LLC, or take other action.
Council, while we were out there working on the headworks itself, it was determined by the manufacturer and ourselves that we really didn't need the conveyor that basically conveys the waste into the trash dumpsters itself. So this change order is for Haynes Equipment, who's providing the materials for the major equipment out there for a negative $40,000.
Well, that's fantastic. Any discussion? Entertain a motion.
You got it.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Anthony, you made it? Yep. Anthony made it. Second. Thank you.
Wright,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Item number 10, consider approval of change order number 1 in the amount of $3,500 from R&H Solutions LLC for Civic Center painting per recommendation from Infrastructure Solutions Group LLC, or take other action.
Council, this is at the Civic Center itself. While the paint contractor was up there removing the guttering and items, they noticed that the wood up there was very rotten. I had talked to Kenneth. He told me he's like 20 years old. So I figured while we was up there repainting the outside, we needed to fix the wood that's holding the guttering up also. Our recommendation is award the change order, or to approve it, I'm sorry.
Discussion? Entertain a motion.
So made.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Dylan. Hey, I went out to the sewer plant the other day. Boy, that's looking really
It
good.
does look really nice. It's a good contract.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Item number 11, consider establishing hours, admission prices, and opening/closing dates for the water park, or take other action.
We made a change last year, and after looking at what everybody else is charging, we really hit it hard the other day in our rates committee. Believe we were wanting to keep the price the same on the admissions. Did we decide, what did we decide on the parties? Did we decide to raise that?
Everything the same.
I
Everything
think
the
the
same?
prices are the same. The only thing we changed was going from 5 and under being free to 2 and under being free.
Yeah, so
I
we
think
tried,
that was the,
we tried that last year. Sorry to cut you off,
no,
Rhonda.
you're fine.
And a lot of 5-year-olds are really swimming. And we lost, I think, roughly around $10,000 is what we lost. I believe that's what I was told. And so most of your other pools are 2 and under. So I would recommend to the council moving it back to the 2 and under. Your dates and your times being the same as last year. Except, no, I'm sorry, it's actually gonna start a day sooner and end a day sooner. What, is that right, the 20? Is it-
23rd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it opened the 24th last year and went to the 27th, so,
Same amount of days.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all kind of based on when school starts back. We have to close like the week before, really.
Yeah, kids going back to school. We lose our lifeguards. It stinks. I wish we could run it a lot longer, but just, we lose our staff. Discussion?
You're right.
Entertain a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Renee was my second. Debbie made the motion. Please call roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wilson,
No.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Wright.
No.
Could we come back to 12 after we finish with 19? Is the council okay with that, to do the audit after we get done with everything else? Everybody okay with that?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Gonna go to 13.
Go to 13.
Yeah, we'll come back to 12 after 19.
Just making my notes, sorry.
You're fine, you're fine.
Item number 13, consider ending the probation period on the following employees or take other action. EMS, Kayla Roberts, Police Department, Billy Camerzell, Police Department, Chloe Page, and Public Relations, Drew Allen.
Okay, Kayla Roberts, her hire date was 8/25/25. There'll be no change in rate. Her rate is $14.27 per hour, and I'd like to backdate that to February 25th to 26th because I should have added her last month and I didn't, so I apologize to the council.
February 25th?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's at 6.
What'd you say the hourly wages?
$14.27.
You said November 25th?
She was hired August 25th. And then
February.
I need to backdate it to February 25th for the effective date.
Discussion? Jim, meet your approval?
She's a very good employee. I would highly recommend taking her off on that.
Entertain a motion?
And her name is Palmer, and she's no relation.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion by Debbie,
Second.
second by Nate. Please call roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Okay, Billy Camerzell, his hire date was 10/6/2025. There's no change in his rate. It is $20.36 per hour. His effective date would be today, April 6, 2026.
You say October 25th?
October 6th, ma'am.
October.
Sorry, the 20,
Sixth.
it was 6th
October
of
6th.
25 is the year. Did I say 26? I apologize. It was probably me. I apologize.
Discussion? Bob, you want to say anything?
I highly recommend him. He's one of our real go-getters. He's doing a really good job for us, and I would recommend removing him.
Entertain a motion?
So made.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call roll.
Wright,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Okay. Chloe Page, her hire date was 9/29/25, and this was the one I added last month by accident. So I think I flip-flopped her and Kayla. So again, my apologies for that clerical error. Her rate is $15.12. There's no change. Her effective date would be March 29th/26.
Discussion? Bob?
I also recommend that we remove Coy from probation. She's taken the dispatch really well. CJ tells me that there's nothing that she gives her to do that she's not willing to do, and she doesn't take to it right away, so she's a good employee.
Entertain a motion?
I'll make that motion. Second.
Motion by Debbie, second by Gayla. Please call roll.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Abstain.
I'm sorry,
Abstain.
abstain?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you, sorry. Hamilton,
Yes.
Okay, and Drew Allen, our Public Relations Officer, her hire date was October 7th of 2025. There will be no change in her salary. It is $40,560 per year. Her effective date would be tomorrow, April 7th, 2026.
What was the rate?
$40,560. That is a salaried employee. And I would like to state that Drew's been an excellent asset to our team. She's done amazing with our graphics on Facebook, and she just really is a go-getter as well.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate the job that she does for the city of Wagoner.
Drew has done amazing. I'd highly recommend this. She's a great person. She's cares. She always wants to fix things, and she is a go-getter. Entertain a motion.
So made.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call roll.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Thank you so much, council.
Item number 14, consider declaring the following items as surplus property and authorizing disposal thereof or take other action. At the Police Department, a Ricoh MPC 4502 copier, Police Department, a fingerprint stand, and City Hall, a Kyocera Task Alpha 620 copier.
Discussion? Entertain a motion.
So made.
Second.
What's that? Make it. Have a motion and a second. Gayla seconded.
Who did? Gayla? Thank you.
Please call roll.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Item number 15, consider approval of a resolution amending rates for services provided by the Wagoner Emergency Medical Service or take other action.
So in our rates committee the other day, and I'm going to turn it over to Jim in just a second, he had a lady come. In the past, we've been right on par for what we can charge, but the government has changed what we are allowed to bill Medicaid and Medicare for our ambulance rates fees. Now, this is simply just going after the insurance only. This isn't going after the citizens of Wagoner that pay their utility bill subscription. It's a completely different thing. But we're looking at probably an additional $200,000 to $300,000 by increasing this.
Last year, the Oklahoma enacted a new law where private insurances have to pay at 360% of the Medicare allowable. And so we have to stay on par with that, and all that money is on the table for us to collect. And like you said, it won't affect any of our citizens that pay on the water bill. It's just what they recommend that we charge private insurance.
Discussion?
And the lady he mentioned was Tammy from Medicaid, and she does our billing, and she keeps us on point on what we need to do on our rates.
Entertain a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Renee was my second. Debbie made the motion. Please call roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item number 16, consider approval of a resolution amending the master fee schedule established by the City of Wagoner, Oklahoma concerning the cost of street bore permits and defining terms, or take other action.
This is just to provide clarifying language in our bore fee schedule. We have a lot of fiber companies coming in wanting to bore under the streets and right-of-ways, and there's just been a lot of confusion in terms of how vague our fee schedule was on it. So this just helps us, put that before them and say it's per bore that you're getting permitted, and kind of raise that fee to be more of the median rate of what their towns are charging. So, any questions?
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call roll.
I'm sorry, who was my second?
Nate.
Sorry.
Can you pull that microphone?
Yeah,
down a little
just a
closer
little
to you or
closer,
something?
sorry. And my hearing is probably bad. Wright,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Item number 17, consider approval of a resolution declaring the south 15 feet of Lot 5 and the whole of Lot 6 and the north 11 feet of Lot 7, all in Block 385, in the city of Wagoner, Oklahoma, according to the duly approved plat thereof as surplus property not needed for municipal purposes, and authorizing the sale thereof to James Ivan Jennings and Marion K. Jennings and the Walter and Goldie Heffley Trust dated September 12, 2019, or take other action.
James and Miss Heffley are here. Does council have any questions for them?
Could Mayor, make just a brief statement?
Absolutely. Go right ahead.
Good evening, council people. Good to see some of you. Some of you I haven't been here before, but I thank you for your service to the community. This process started with me in about 1989-90, building the buildings down there by north of the grocery store. There was a need for a depot for the bread company. It started, and then they built on. I built onto the existing property as it became available, and the bread company just continued to grow and grow. There now, it started off with 2 trucks. Currently, it's, I believe, 6 trucks, and quite a few employees there. Most of them live in the surrounding areas, but a few of them do live in Wagoner. About a month and a half ago, I got a call from the bread people regarding the parking of their trucks. They, for many years, have parked on the property that belonged to Joanne and Buster Heffley. I appreciate that very much, and they said that they were told that they couldn't park there anymore. So immediately, I started trying to find out what was going on. I got a hold of Joanne and determined that they were going to build a building on their lot where the trucks were parking. I'll let her tell what she's going to do with those buildings. She tried to get some permits and stuff like that, but it didn't happen because there, wasn't any way for the people to get into the building the way she was wanting to without owning that lot that belongs to the city between my buildings and her building. I got a call from Gordon, and I thought I was in trouble or something. When Gordon calls me, I'm usually in trouble about something, but he asked me if I'd be interested in purchasing one half of that lot, which the south half of the lot would go to improve the value of my existing property, and the north half of that lot that belongs to the city would go with Buster and Joanne's property as far as access into the buildings that they're going to build. I said, sure. I said, how much do you want for it? And Gordon told me at that time that the mayor wanted to put it out for a survey and appraisal, not a survey, but an appraisal to see what it was worth. He told me that the excess value was, I think, $12,000, which would sound reasonable to me because the last lot that I purchased in town was a little bit more than that. And I thought that would be a good piece of property for me to have and would help me with my future endeavors with my existing building. I have no intentions of adding on to my buildings, doing anything else. There's been some concern about parking. I appreciate all the positive things that are going on in the community, especially Junction downtown. I think it'll really help. We've coexisted together with my building and the city of Wagoner with parking over many events, and I don't see any problem with myself, and I'm sure Joanne and Buster would allow people, if they needed to park in that lot, access to it also, but she can confirm that. But if you have any questions, I would appreciate very much. I was told to put in a bid for the property, and it would be brought before the council tonight and for approval. And I appreciate your consideration of that resolution. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Was the Ron Nanny appraisal the 12,000?
No, that's the assessed value. Ron Nanny appraised at 12.5. They have to get a separate abstract, they have to do a lot split, and they have to have a survey done. And so since all those three things, they said that they would offer 12,000.
As most of you are aware of, those lots my building's built right up real close to the lot line. And that's the way it is with commercial property downtown. They both share the same boundaries there for that wall.
Ms. Heffley, do you care to say anything?
Well, we just wanted to build a storage building there, and if we can't
Thank you,
buy-
James.
If we can't buy that land, we can't build the storage building because they would come out on somebody else's property. And that's why we wanted.
Do we know if they were the only people that were called? Like, to
That-
put it in?
She reached out to us, and then Gordon had reached out to James. Further discussion? Entertain a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Renee seconded. Debbie made it. Please call roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wilson,
No?
Wright.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Does that pass? 4 votes passes that? Item number 18, consider approval of a resolution declaring a part of Lot 1, Block 343, City of Wagoner, Wagoner County, Oklahoma, as surplus property and not needed for municipal purposes, and authorizing the sale thereof to Amy McFarland or take other action.
So I know this has been a big ordeal. Right after I took office, I was approached by Lisa and Todd Homburg. Gayla, from what I read on yours, it sounded like I told them a different price or something.
Yeah, what they tell me, what I put.
Well, they had to have it appraised, and I didn't have it appraised. They wanted to do the deal out there on Preston Light Road.
That was, yeah.
Talked to 4 people total that have been interested in purchasing Carnegie Library. Amy McFarland is the only one that has put in an offer. And I've talked to several people. I know there's a lot of griff on this, but this is going to take somebody that can not only afford to purchase this building, but also has the funds to fix this building. The city doesn't have the funds to fix this building. It is the most beautiful building in town. I'm sorry, Rebecca. I'm terribly sorry. But it is so beautiful and has so much rich history. And we have a hometown person here that the library holds a special place in her heart. I was standing right there when the contractor told her it would take $1 million to fix this thing. I can't tell you how many times I've been there at the library with Amy, meeting contractors. I mean, this didn't just happen last week. We've probably been working on this 4 months. I mean, it's been a long ordeal. I'm very excited about it. I'm excited to see a true piece of Wagoner history that's going to be restored instead of fall down to the ground. Right now, last year, we spent just about $100 under $3,000, right at $2,900 on utilities and insurance. We are throwing tax dollars money out the door. She wants to pay us for utilities. You know, I get it. I get everybody wants to say this is some backdoor deal that she's going to do something. Yeah, she is going to do something. She's going to repair and fix the building, which is at the end of the day what all Wagoner residents want. We don't want to see the Carnegie bulldozed down. We don't want to see it, you know, sit there for another 30 years while somebody just nickels and dimes and works on it. We want to see it fixed. That's what all of us want. It's very sad, and I think Amy will touch on this too. This is exactly why businesses aren't wanting to come to Wagoner. I wholeheartedly believe 100% if Amy would have called Tanya Sapton and said, hey, Tanya, I want to buy the library from the city, we wouldn't have had this problem, except we worship somebody that doesn't even live in our town, and they want either the voice or thumb or something to be in control of everything. Well, that's not it. I was elected for the good, bad, and the ugly, the hard, the true, the easy, all of it. And it's just, it's bull crap. And our citizens are sick and tired of it. They see, yeah, we may have a handful on Facebook that gripe and moan, but this is true progress for the city of Wagoner. Does anybody have any questions for Amy?
Hey, Miss Amy. What are your plans for the building?
That's my question.
First of all, I'm going to say, I've driven by the building. The building sat vacant for 25 years. Nobody's done anything to it for 25 years. They closed the doors, and it's a holy mess down there. I grew up here. I grew up in that library. My grandmother and Frances Lamb were best friends. I wanted the library because it meant something to me. And I'm now at a position where I can do that. I don't know how long it's going to take me to do that. I know that I'm going to have to put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it myself because I don't have $1 million laying around. All of these, I'm not on Facebook for one reason. I think it's insanity that anybody's on Facebook that would run anybody down. I don't think that's appropriate for anything. I had no nefarious, I don't even know who the people are that you posted about on your post. I don't even know these people. I don't know anybody that said anything ugly on there. I don't know any of those people. I don't. My whole purpose in this, I saw that and I thought it would be a beautiful law office, first of all. I don't know that I'll ever be able to move my law office in there or really need to. I own my own building. I own my own house. I don't have to do this. I didn't have to subject myself to the ridicule of this people I don't even know. I did this because I truly wanted the building and want to make it better. I don't want it to sit there and rot down. I got a bid today. I'll give you all the pictures. The roof is over 30 years old. It has holes in it. One whole wall, since you've had that done, has fallen down inside the library, okay? Half the books in there are ruined because we didn't even put a tarp on top of the roof. Like, I don't understand why this is a big deal. Anybody that thinks that they've got $300,000 to pay, sign up. They're here tonight. Write a check for it. I mean, then give the city $300,000. It's going to cost conservatively $1 million to fix it. But it is something that I personally wanted to try to do to fix it. I mean, I've had, like you said, this has not been something that I thought about rashly or, quickly and made the decision to do. It's something that I wanted to do because I love the building. And it's rotting down, and nobody's doing anything about it. I don't know. I called the Carnegie Library people 6 months ago, last year. They don't have any money in the Carnegie Library. There's nobody, people in other towns, specifically, I went to Salida, Colorado, where Judge Nelson, he used to be a judge up here, and I visited him. And their library, they refurbished the Carnegie Library there. So I went in and talked to the director, and I'm like, hey, how did you do that? Blah, 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 blah. They had their town, the people in their town, rallied around something, which is unheard of here, rallied around a project and funded it to rebuild that. We don't have that here. So it's going to take somebody with initiative to do that. That's what I'm trying to do. I don't know about all this other, whatever people are saying about tax this or tax that. My tax lady's sitting right there. She may know, I don't know. I don't know anything about tax breaks or cuts or hikes or whatever they're talking about on there that I've been told. I don't watch that, so anybody that's posting about me, I don't know and don't care, quite frankly. If you don't know me, then you don't know me, and I don't know you, so then your opinion didn't really matter to me. I know where my heart is, and I know that my intentions are pure. If there's anybody else out there with any other intentions, it's not coming from me. I approached Dalton, I asked, hey, who owns the building? I didn't even know really who owns the building. Nicole in my office had to go look. I mean, I don't know. She's the one that researches all that. But once I found out the city did, then I called Dalton. I said, hey, I'd like to look at it. I'd like to see it. I'd like to get some contractors down there, which is what I've done. The roof alone is going to cost somewhere between $65,000 and $75,000. That alone, just to fix, and that will be the first fix that has to happen. After that, I will go in there and start working, trying to rebuild it. There's oak floors. It's beautiful. It's just like it was when I was there, minus the trash. I mean, it's a time capsule that stopped, but the roof, I mean, it's not been maintained, quite frankly. Nobody's maintained it. Nobody's done anything to it, and it's a shame. It's sad. It's horribly sad. I mean,
The ceiling inside is rotted and has fallen down.
yeah,
I mean, it's not.
we've been down there. That's Nicole. She's my best friend. But anyway, it's unbelievable. Even in this week since we've had the rains, there was a whole section of books there, children's books, that now are completely ruined because they can't even be donated or given to anybody because the ceiling fell in there because the roof has holes in it. I can show you guys what it looks like if you want to see it. It's sad. There's water standing on top of that roof. But I simply, what?
I made copies for
Oh.
the council of the vote.
So, showing those pictures, I want to also add
I didn't know she had
that
copies,
it does have mold in there. No telling what kind, how many kinds, but there is mold.
There's probably mold there when we were going to the library.
We're not sure if there's asbestos in it or not. And we did have it appraised, like I said, quite some time ago. What was the date on that appraisal? Do you know, Hicks?
I don't know. I've not seen an appraisal.
He's got it, and it appraised for $50,000. So I mean,
Actually, take
that's something else that really shocks me is, we've had a lot of people talk about, how much the building's worth and everything. Well, we had it appraised. It's just, it needs a lot of love and a lot of work.
And I welcome anybody that wants to come down and help. I mean, any of you all can come down and help, but it's a lot of work. I mean, there's a lot to be done to that. The roof is the very first thing that has to be done, and then we can start from there. But there's 2 giant holes in the basement. There's mold mostly in the basement. Now, ironically, that's the last room that was used in the library for the genealogy department.
Yeah.
And so they had to move because of that. But I mean, and from my understanding, like, when the sidewalks were built to make it ADA compliant, the sidewalks slope towards the building. So it's causing water to run down, obviously, and nobody's maintained around the building on the other side, so it's caused water to pool and run down the side of the building. So, I mean,
And
I'm not an engineer, I'm not that. I've had an engineer out to try to get an estimate on that, if there's anything that I'm gonna have to do with that. So this isn't a thing that I'm gonna say I'm gonna have it done in a year or 2 years, or I don't know how long it's gonna take, quite frankly. All I'm saying is there's gonna be somebody in it, me, and I'm going to try to do my best to restore it. I'm not changing the name of the Carnegie, I'm not knocking down anything, I'm not doing any of that, that's not my intention. But I don't even know, and no one's gonna know, until we get in there and clean it out and rip the walls off of it, get the mold out of there, and to see what we're dealing with to how to even get it fixed. I have to have contractors that can come in and go up there and start digging it out, basically, to see what's up there. Until that happens, I can't even begin to say what it's gonna look like. But, you know, I think what I've offered is a fair offer based on what, it's what I'm willing to offer for it, because I'm gonna have to put in a lot of money and blood, sweat, and tears, and I don't have $1 million to put into it, right now. So it's gonna be over a period of time that I'm gonna do that. But that's my intention for it, and it wasn't meant to start this, excuse my French, shitstorm that is apparently all over Facebook, and I'm like, had some nefarious thing going on here. I'm not that person. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm not that person. You might not like what I have to say, but I'm gonna say it to your face. And if anybody is trying to buy businesses in this town, what kind of an example is this, guys? I'm in Atlanta. I've lived here my whole life. I've lived here my whole life. I got an education. I moved back here. I raised my daughter here, and I'm treated this way. And I honestly, I was just, thank God I'm not on Facebook.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
My question not is to you, but it's to our city. I mean, is this building a historical building?
No.
It is, but it's not on the registry.
Why do we never register? Because I'm listening to her. I'm 65. I grew up in that library with my mother, and Miss Bright was the librarian. And I was a bookworm. I worked in that library. I mean, just like you did. So I'm just wondering, why do we let such a historical thing just go to waste? And why was it never registered as a historical site? Why there was nothing ever put into it?
I don't think any of the libraries across, at least the ones that I've been in that are Carnegies, haven't been registered as a historical site.
Wow.
So I don't know that I don't know what it, I don't know what.
I know this happened in Tulsa too. I know that there was a library and they didn't register it, and so they had to shut it down, and then some entrepreneur came in and gave them the funds. But again, I'm just wondering,
If it was a historical site, you might be able to get more, you know, if it could be on the registry, but I mean, you gotta have somebody that's gonna come in and want to do that, but it's not, I don't know of any of them that are. At least
Well,
the
I
ones
know
I've
that there's
visited
no-
and talked to.
I know there's no deadline in registering the building, but I mean, it's not that I wouldn't want someone to have the building instead of it just sitting there as an expense and us not doing nothing with it. And I'm not on Facebook either, because I believe that,
Amen.
excuse my French, but I believe there's cowards on Facebook. If you have something to say, you need to say something to someone's face.
Exactly.
But I'm just, you know, I need all the facts, you know, and I'm glad that you're speaking so I can hear it from your mouth, the horse's mouth, and not from what I hear on communication where we have these.
Not one person has called me to ask me. Like, I've paid out of my own pocket already for an engineer. I've paid for people to come and give me bids, and it is gonna cost $1 million to do it to what I want to do it. Like, I don't wanna have the drop ceilings, no offense, but like in here, the old ceilings are all plaster. All the plaster has to come off. All of the laid things, because the roof is leaked, they're all rotted. So the downstairs all of the walls have mold growing on them. I mean, it is an unbelievable undertaking.
There's 2 sump pumps in the basement where
That are full of water.
they think it's, when I walked in there, no,
We can go over this 100 times.
Yeah.
We have plans for it, it's for the city.
we don't have the funds.
But if I can weigh in just a little bit, just because I've been here a long time. About probably 25 or so years ago, maybe, Mr. Peters looked into trying to add on to it, restore it, add on to it. There were no funds available. We couldn't afford what it was going to cost to do. When Larry Morgan was city superintendent, he went almost begging door to door to anybody that had grant money. He contacted the Carnegie Foundation, and like she said, there's no money there. Multiple times, he looked at every possible grant, any funding that we could get. There simply was no way for the city to have the funds to restore the library like it would need to be. And get the basement, get it handicap compliant more so than it was. the elevator that's in it, that was our thing at getting it as most handicapped compliant as we could. The funding has always been the issue for the city, always. And it's been looked at multiple times in multiple ways to try to find funding. It just doesn't exist in grants, as far as we could find. So that's just what I know about it from history.
I
Further,
haven't been able to find any, but, and I'm not telling you guys, like I said, this is gonna be a long haul, it's not gonna be a short haul for me. If you grant me to buy it, I mean, it's not. Like, if anybody that wants to come up, or anybody that had the naysaying that wants to come up there and volunteer, I'm welcome. I mean, you know, so.
You asked me about the appraisal. The date on the appraisal is May the 15th, 2025.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, it's part of the appraisal says ADA compliance. I did not observe any ADA issues.
There is an elevator
It
shaft
says,
there, but.
he said, I'm not an expert in any ADA matters. If there are any questions involving ADA compliance, it is recommended that an expert be consulted. It also says hazardous substance. I am not aware of the presence of any hazardous substances on the property. I mean, there's mold all over that property.
The copper's all gone, somebody's cut all the
I mean,
copper off.
anyway.
We replaced that.
I'm not qualified to, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I'll let Ken finish.
No, no, that's fine. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, the city has replaced multiple windows over the last few years.
there's more broke too.
Now there's plywood, they didn't talk about
Yeah,
this.
yeah, it's plywood now, yeah.
And they're gonna have to be more plywood, because there's broken windows right now, but
Is it really?
Further discussion?
Mr. Hicks, are we supposed to have a historical committee by law, do you know, or no?
No, not required to have one.
Okay.
We used to
all
have
of
a,
it have.
we used to have
Downtown.
a historical society, but. Oh, do
Oh.
We still do, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Entertain a motion?
Thank you, Miss Amy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Please call roll.
Wagoner,
Is there any more
To
discussion?
accept it, or you got something else, Ms. Renee?
No, I just didn't hear you.
Okay, yeah,
okay.
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Wagoner,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wilson,
Abstain?
Wright,
Abstain.
Motion carried 3-2.
motion carried. Item number 19, consider approval of the final plat of Odeby Estates or take other action.
All right. Odeby Estates, in 2021, they were approved to rezone to a PUD, but it seems like at the time, the plat wasn't approved, so we're just trying to bring that up to date because they do have a developer ready. They're planning to do 7 duplexes and then a commercial area, but we just need a final plat approved that wasn't back in 2021 for some reason.
Discussion?
Where's these estates at?
This is,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's over by
so,
Old Yorkshire.
you know that middle piece there? If you turn and you head down on Yorkshire and then you turn back to go, I've always just called it a hay meadow, but right there in the middle. They had it platted and it passed zoning a long time ago. They just didn't finish it. The ball got dropped somewhere down the line. So it's-
I may very well have been the one that dropped the ball. I don't know. When
I'm trying to
I
put
got
that on
hey,
you,
it's
Rhonda.
okay, I don't mind.
Talking about putting like 7
Yeah.
complexes over here?
So that's, I think,
That was the plan at the time that it got changed to PUD because they wanted 7 duplexes and also a little commercial zone. Now they have a developer interested, and so, but when they came to start the process, we realized that there was no final plat that had been approved in 2021, so we're just trying to get that back up to date.
The seller wasn't aware that it wasn't finished.
Yeah.
Okay.
further discussion? Entertain a motion.
So made.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call roll.
Wright,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Why don't you go ahead and run through 21? Do 20 and 21.
20 and 21, and then
Yeah.
go back. Okay. Item number 20 is unscheduled public appearances.
There was one. Steve Nicholas.
Hello, council. I took a minute right before I closed the drugstore to write it down because I was a little too emotional and I was afraid I'd let my mouth overload myself. So give me just a second. I'm Steve Nicholas. I've been here my whole life. I'm from here. I own Rogers Drug here in town, and I've owned it since 2008. My father from 1964 to 2008, and Charlie Rogers from 1926 to 1964. It was originally down in the SS Cobb building where Blue Sky is now in the old American Bank, and it had a pharmacy in it since its completion in 1895. Mr. Rogers bought the building and the pharmacy in 1926 and changed the name of the pharmacy to Rogers Drug Company. So we've been in business in Wagoner for 131 years.
Wow.
I don't know right now if we're the oldest business in town, but we're probably in the running. And our town does need some help in many different areas, and I applaud the council, I really do, for participating in making Wagoner a better place. Civic duty is a thankless job. And to piggyback on what Amy was saying and some other folks here tonight, I don't, however, think that social media is the answer as it pertains to the city. It's a circus. It's just a circus. I'm here tonight to get some type of clarification on a few statements that were made on Councilwoman Lady Gayla Wright's page from yesterday. She said, and I quote, "There are dirty deals. If you're not going to speak and share opinions with citizens, don't be up here." She then says, not on Facebook, but earlier in the same paragraph, she said, and I quote, "Rogers Drug, dirty deal again, for a reason someone knows why, question mark." I don't understand what that means, and I'm here for that clarification. What does that mean? Does it mean that Rogers Drug has been doing dirty deals? Does it mean that I personally have been doing dirty deals? Does it mean that my dad has been doing dirty deals? I mean, Mr. Rogers did dirty deals. Just what are you trying to say? You're in a position of power being on this council. All of you are. And what is a newcomer to town supposed to think about Rogers Drug Company when they come to town if they see that a current city council person says that Rogers Drug does dirty deals or whatever it is she's trying to allude to? I bet they would go elsewhere. I'm asking, what did I do or Rogers Drug do to elicit such a slanderous statement on social media?
First of all, I'd like to clarify that and apologize to that because it wasn't all referred to you. It was more about something else. What is more or less stating that people in Wagoner, as people know that their stuff has been done as councils and as for anybody else. And as for us to grow as Oklahoma, as a Wagoner, we need to start growing together as everybody is agreeing together on everything. And I apologize to everything that I'm saying because I am not oxygen in my head, so if I'm not making any sense, it's because I don't have oxygen. But it don't give any excuse for what happened. But what it says is that someone was at a meeting and someone had came and told me and said that we got a sweet deal with this and it's going to help us give what we need to do. And it was from somebody else that gave the person. So
Do what?
it wasn't nothing about you, it's about something else that in like a something that's plus to get what we needed. Because you were on the Wagoner County.
I still am on the Wagoner County, yeah.
And you are a friend with people to help us to get that.
Are you saying that we sold that to him for that price for the help at the junction?
Kind of steps, well, yeah. Exactly.
Really? Is that what you're saying?
Not all of it, but, you know, we gonna help us. Not like you can say, but we was kind of.
But that's what you're saying. You're saying we sold it to him for that price, so he would help us with the county and the junction.
Mike can help.
You're living in a dream world.
You know, but at the same time that we know that that price was a low price.
Based on what? Based on the
Because
the
there
comps?
was- even people in the community, they all stated that, well, if I got that price, I would get that.
Where were they?
Price.
So it's the same,
They
and
don't-
when I
they don't
came
know.
here,
It's like now, nobody knows. It's like the library, nobody knew till we got a package.
Sure.
If people in the citizen of town knew just that this was out, people would have came and maybe they would have said something. And just like the library, we could have hopefully got a community like OML, they have a grant person that does Carnegie Libraries, and the people that do grants, and they would do, she could do $2 million and 2%, she would.
Who could?
The grant lady. Well,
For who?
for grants. And when me and Jim went to a grant, and it was Mike Fina and more other people. So if they can get grants, we can give them 2% money, but we don't pay nothing.
that actually has nothing to do with why I'm here tonight. I'm here to find out why a council person is saying that I'm
That's
dirty
for
or my
you
business
and
is
for your
dirty.
people and stuff, it's nothing against nothing you. What I was telling, if the people in Wagoner always got something to say about something on Facebook, I was saying, if you got so much to say, then you need to come to the meeting.
And that's why I'm here. I'm here at the meeting. You weren't at the meeting when you started running down me and my business.
Well,
And you shouldn't do that. You should be setting the example for what you're asking other people to do and not sitting in a position of power. And, I mean, you're doing one thing and saying the other. And you want to know where I came up with that price about how much that land was. I told you when I was here that night that it's within, I'm sorry?
go ahead.
No, you had something more important to say?
I voted yes on it.
I know you did. But when Rebecca Olson's business had a similar square footage, it was a block away, came up to a certain number of, I don't remember the number, or I would quote it, was so much a square foot. You take that figure, you put it on that lot next to my drugstore, the one that I ended up purchasing. We were within $3,000 total per square foot. This one's 10,000 square foot. I think hers is 13,000, something like that. I made an offer what I thought was legit, had nothing to do with the backdoor deal with the Wagoner County Economic Development Authority that I'm on. It would have been the farthest thing from my mind to be that dirty or even to be considered to be that. So I'm just asking you to do better. And then that's all I've got to say.
Well, I apologize, and I apologize to you, and I have highly respect for your dad and highly respect for you.
Okay.
I mean, always
If I
been
may,
good.
I think the only problem we're having is we'll only get one bid.
I understand that, but that's not my problem.
That's.
You know, I understand. It would have been great.
Pointing and asking questions behind, but we don't want to out them for coming to us to asking questions.
Okay.
Individually.
Sure.
Just keep, but as they're coming to us, they're only indicating one bid and asking all these questions, and
Well, where were they? If they were interested, why
I
didn't
get
they
what
come
you're
to
saying.
me?
I get, there probably should be something, like a guideline or something on how you guys need to handle that situation. All I did was express an interest in a certain piece of property. An appraisal was asked for. All I did was say, I will give this, that. Mr. Hicks wrote up a thing. I came here. It got voted on. And you felt like it wasn't a great deal for the city. You voted no. I can respect that. I can respect that. But don't vote yes on it and then call me crooked or dirty, I'm sorry, for doing exactly what I said I was going to do. Now, I haven't brought any food trucks in, but I have donated the use of that for up to 4 or 5 times, I can't remember exactly, for other food trucks to come in. One was during the Christmas parade, and I've even been mowing it for the last several years that the city owns it because they can't get over there and do it. So I just don't know what prompted that for you to, Dad asked me if he wanted me to come tonight, and of course, he goes to bed at 5. So I told him, no, I would come do it on my own, but anyway, that's all I've got to say.
Thank you.
You bet.
You know, I think one of the worst things that we can do here as city council is when someone comes and they have something to say to us. I understand people's concern, I truly do. But my grandfather always taught me, whatever you're gonna say once, be prepared to say twice. So when people come to me and you want me to, it's, you know, again, I've been a counselor for years. It's kind of like you tell a kid to don't tell a secret. So when you come to me and you got a concern, and I can't go publicly, because this is what this is, a public meeting, and I can't go publicly and say, okay, you're not willing to come forth and say something, but you're willing to tell me back here, I think that creates a problem.
It sure does.
You ought to be able to be openly, if there is a concern, and yeah, we know everybody don't do things right, and we know everybody do stuff in back doors and in closets, but do you have the facts? See, there's a lot of stuff that we do because that's just the way we do things. It's a matter of our opinion, okay? I want to do my opinion, or this is the way we've been doing it for years. Change comes when we all unite and we work together. Not when you want to be a lone wolf, or not when you want to sit up and listen to heresy that other people say. If you're going to come to me, and I've made this very clear to everybody, even the council, if you're going to come to me, you better have some facts. I don't care if you're my mama. I need your facts. And if you don't got facts, I cannot support you, because all of that is gossip, and it causes division. And we were not chose or elected for division. We are here for unity. And I really get tired of sitting here and hearing people say, well, so-and-so said you did this, like we 12 years old. If so-and-so got something, bring me the facts. And when we put the facts here, if the facts is there, and if it's your shoe size, wear it. But if it's just heresy, stop starting stuff, and we here all night because somebody said this and somebody said that. Stop being a coward. Stop being a keyboard gangster. Stop listening to what other people say when you don't know that to be a fact. I want to hear both of y'all's stories. Both of y'all's stories. I don't want to hear just one person tell me a story. The same way I do with my children. I don't want to hear it unless the other person can come here and defend themselves. And we do that a lot here. And I'm just telling you, you don't like it, I'm going to tell you the truth. If you don't like it, that's too bad, because nobody pays my bills. Just too much of it for grown people.
Thank you, Ms. Renee.
Item number 21 is departmental reports.
Ms. Moore.
Good evening, council. I'm stepping in for Mr. Leopard tonight.
Will you pull that mic down, ma'am? I'm sorry.
I usually have no problem with that. So.
Yeah, sorry.
We have our packet inside for you to review. We have lots of positives, hospital admissions, OR cases. Our average daily census on both our medical floor and our mental health unit were up, and our inpatient revenues were up considerably. So just a lot of the efforts for our strategic business plan that we've been working on that's coming to fruition. One of the more exciting things we're doing is forensic restoration in our mental health department. We've been working to secure some of our tribal contracts, and we now have 4 tribal contracts in place, and a very, very, very busy, next month's report will be much more than 12% growth in mental health. So they've been very busy on the unit and providing a much-needed service within our community.
Discussions? Questions for Ms. Moore? No. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Eric?
Ladies and gentlemen of the council, if you look in your packet, you'll see your departmental reports. This month, the street department's been putting down patch and clearing ditches with tin horns, putting down hot lay, and opened up a road in Maple Park. They got Martin Luther King opened back up, and the cemeteries had 10 funerals out there. So the fire department's been doing a lot of runs this week, or this month, with the winds that have been going through, and as you can see, those guys have been hard at it, and we appreciate them very much for what we did earlier this evening. It's a real testament to that department. The library's been bringing dinosaurs back to life over there, so that's kind of cool. If you get the chance, go by there and check it out. They're getting a lot of activities together for the kids this summer. And EMS, they've been teaching baseball coaches CPR and first aid. That's kind of neat. that department over there has been doing a lot of good things. We're really proud of them, and we're proud of the team that they're becoming. There really is a lot of good things coming out of that department right now. The park guys have been busy getting ready for summer, and they've been starting the mowing, doing flower beds, things like that, and anything else in your, getting ready for the pool also. Hopefully we'll have a good year with that, like we spoke about earlier. Everything else is in your packet, and if you have any questions, let me know, and that concludes the city part of my report.
So y'all doing that cremation thing now at the?
Yes, ma'am.
It's gonna be here this month, we predict, next couple of weeks, yeah.
There's a lot of people that asked about it.
It's gonna be a great deal. We haven't came up with the final price yet, did we? Did y'all get through that?
Yeah, it's gonna be in the low 20s.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really great deal and really affordable, very exciting. Yeah, Jim.
I just want to let the council know that we were blessed enough Thursday to receive an email from Firehouse Subs, and they gave us $12,200 to buy some new video and rental equipment that we need to buy. We were gonna have to budget it, and we didn't think we got it, and we got the email, and we were approved, so.
Fantastic.
Firehouse Subs, we got $12,000 grant, so.
Good deal.
Who was that with the gym again? That grant you just had?
Firehouse Subs.
Okay.
He's been chasing that one for a long time. They go fast. Further questions, council?
No, sir. Thanks, Ron.
Okay, we will go back to item number 12. Consider accepting and approving the audit for the city of Wagoner for the fiscal year ending 6/30/2025. Ralph Osborne, CPA, or take other action.
Hello, like I didn't just talk to you. So the audit that we had sent over last week that they got in your board packets ended up having some typos, so that's why we brought another copy. So that's the copy I'll be going through tonight.
This is a revised copy?
Yes, none of the numbers changed, it's just typos. Our spell check on WordPerfect just was not helpful. If you open it up, the first page, of course, is just the cover letter. The next page begins our independent auditor's report. Again, we noted no issues or findings that modified our opinion as to the financial statement, so this is a clean report, and this is our standard letter. Page 3 begins the management discussion and analysis. I worked with Laura and got some of this updated for you guys. I believe the numbers start to change over on page 5. I will go through a little bit of this because it shows the percentages on here. So on page 5, the city as a whole, the net assets changed as follows. For the governmental activities, there was an increase of $2,872,381, which was 18% over the prior year. The business activities had $240,625 of an increase, which was 1.24% of an increase over the prior year. Total increase for the year was 8.99%. Page 6, we've got some charts here. Breaks out for the top, the governmental activities, what the revenue is brought down to. 83% is, of course, taxes. I wish the color coding would have been better on this. I'm sorry. I just realized. Okay. Yeah, I can get the color coding up for you guys if y'all would like it. For the business type activities, we've got the WPWA and the EMS. This is in the thousands. The revenue for the business, the PWA was about $12,598,000. Expenses were 12 also. Yeah, I definitely need to get that color ink out. Page 7, We'll go over the revenue and expenditures for both the governmental and the business type activities. For the top shows the governmental, the taxes was 83% of your total revenue for the year, which was $6,455,349. This was an increase, I believe, your total revenue, I did the other one, sorry. I was doing math earlier, but I did the expenses, not the revenue. Okay. It was 3.8% increase over the 2024 year. The expenditures, that was an increase of 24.6% over the prior year total. A big portion of that was capital outlay, so that's not your typical expenses anyway, so we don't foresee an issue with that. Down below shows the proprietary funds, which is going to be the PWA and the EMS. So the PWA had was 85% of the total operating revenue, but it had a decrease of 4.59% over the prior year of revenue. And for the expenses, it had an increase of 3.35%. For the EMS, there was an increase of 0.99%. For revenue and an increase of 13.21 for the expenses. Okay. Page 8 goes over, the beginning goes over some of your capital assets. So the governmental funds had cost of $19,067,108 of equipment and capital assets. Accumulated depreciation of $10,185,385 for a book value of $8,881,723. EMS had a total cost of $757,986, depreciation of $681,842 for a book value of $76,144. The PWA had $33,596,988, depreciation of $18,285,351 for a book value of $15,311,637. The total book value for all of the funds together was $24,269,504. Right below that begins going over the debt. The Public Works Authority and EMS had $10,571,579 in outstanding notes payable compared to $11,528,109 in the prior year. The city had $61,616 in outstanding notes payable compared to the $89,239 in the prior year. We'll go over, it says economic factors in next year's budgets and rates. Revenue appears to be flat, but inflation is causing expenditures to increase. The city will need to watch our expenditures carefully. Currently, all funds are healthy. On page 9 begins the statement of net position. This is for the entire government. The governmental activities had total current assets of $8,857,780. Total non-current assets of $9,158,081. For total asset balance of $18,015,861. Total current liabilities were $948,083. Non-current liabilities were $1,809,883. For a total liability balance of $2,757,966. And the total net position was $15,257,895. The business type activities had total current assets of $16,899,581. Total non-current assets of $15,589,427. For total assets of $32,489,008. Total current liabilities for $2,632,756. Non-current liabilities were $10,500,428. for a total liability balance of $13,133,184. The total net position for the business type activities was $19,355,824. The fiduciary funds, which was the penalty assessment fund, this should be the only place that has the numbers. The cash for that fund had $5,886, and there were no liabilities. Page 10 is the combined statement of activities for all funds. The total expenses for the governmental activities was $4,855,055. Charges for services that they received was $162,093. For the total expense of $4,692,962. For the business type activities, total expenses amounted to $14,348,030. Charges for services received was $14,746,785. There was a grant for $29,800 for a total revenue of $428,555. Down below, it splits out the general revenues. The governmental activities had general revenues and transfers of $7,565,343 for a total change in net position of $2,872,381. The business type activities had general revenues and transfers of a negative $187,930. It was due to transfers, but there was interest of $276,000. Your total change in net position for the business type was $240,625, and your net position ending for all funds was $34,613,719. Page 11 begins going over just the governmental funds. The general fund had total assets of $7,524,136, liabilities of $727,845, for a total fund balance of $6,796,291. The economic development fund had assets of $1,184,713, liabilities of $146,713, for a fund balance of $1,038,000. The total non-major funds had assets of $544,990, liabilities of $435,167, for a total fund balance of $109,823. Page 12 is the reconciliation of balance sheet of the balance sheet for the governmental funds. The total fund balance for all the governmental funds was $7,944,114. Once you add back the capital assets and the lease and the retirement, the actual net position was $15,257,895. Page 13 is your revenues, expenditures, and change in fund balance for the governmental funds. The general fund had $6,455,349 of revenue, $7,241,321 of expenditures, for a loss of $785,972. Once we add back the transfers, the loss was only $74,085, so it definitely brought it back down quite a bit. The Economic Development Fund, the total revenue was $674,651, expenditures of $104,882, for an excess of revenue of $569,769. There were transfers of $93,500 out, which netted the change in fund balance to $476,269. Your non-major funds amounted to revenue of $132,970, expenditures of $1,655, for an excess of revenue of $131,315. There were transfers out of $153,921, so your net change ended up being a negative $22,606. Page 14 is your reconciliation of the statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. The total net change in fund balance for all the governmental funds was $379,578. Once you add back the current depreciation and the capital outlay that was purchased during the year and the lease purchase payments, your total change in net position was $2,872,381. I don't know how y'all want to do this because it's so long. If you have questions on the governmental, we can go over that before we start the business type. There's a lot of numbers to remember.
Any discussion? Keep on
Okay.
rolling.
Okay. Page 15 begins the statement of fund net position for the proprietary funds. This includes your Public Works Department and your emergency medical services. So the PWA had total current assets of $14,987,333. Total non-current assets of $15,311,637 for a total asset balance of $30,298,970. Total current liabilities were $2,496,443. Total non-current liabilities were $10,399,542 for a total liability balance of $12,895,542. Your net position for the PWA was $17,402,985. The EMS had total current assets of $1,912,248. Total non-current assets of $277,790 for a total asset balance of $2,190,038. Total current liabilities were $136,313. The total non-current were $100,886 for a total liability balance of $237,199. And the net position ending of $1,952,839. Right there is like a fly getting me or something. Page 16 is your statement of revenues, expenditures, and change in fund balance. For the PWA, there was total operating revenue of $12,598,569. Operating expenses of $12,077,254 for operating income of $521,315. The total non-operating expenses were $81,331, so it brought your income down to $439,984. There were transfers that netted to $464,466, which made your change in net position a negative $24,482. The EMS had total operating revenue of $2,148,216. Total operating expenses of $1,883,713 for an operating income of $264,503. Total non-operating revenue was $604. So your total change in the EMS was $265,107. Page 17 is your statement of cash flows for the proprietary funds. The PWA had net cash provided by operating activities of $1,532,396. Net cash used by non-capital financing activities of $464,000. That didn't add up right. $464,466. Net cash used for capital and related financing activities was $1,307,751. Net cash provided by investing activities was $960,493. For for net change in cash and cash equivalents of an increase of $750,472 for your ending cash balance of $13,485,786. Down below is the reconciliation of the operating income. So your operating income was $521,315. Once we add back the depreciation and then changes in assets and liabilities, the actual cash provided by operating activities was $1,532,396. The EMS had net cash provided by operating activities of $132,887. Net cash used for capital and related financing activities of $91,168. Interest of $604, for a net increase of $42,323 for your cash and cash equivalents, which had an ending balance of $1,032,492. Down below, the reconciliation, it had operating income of $264,503. After we add back the changes in assets and liabilities and depreciation, the actual cash provided was $132,887. Page 18 begins the notes to the financial statements. These will remain much the same as your prior audits. Again, this just goes over the entity, your accounting policies, and I believe it begins changing over on page 22. Down at the bottom, it shows compensated absences. A total of 240 hours of vacation may be accumulated by each employee and carried over to the next year. Accrued vacation is recorded as a liability of the city. The city currently has accrued vacation of general government for $222,465. EMS has $40,088, and Public Works has $120,970. When an employee is terminated or quits, accumulated vacation is paid. On page 23, the first paragraph, this also discusses your leave policy. It says at year end, the city has unrecorded sick leave of $449,698 and $194,418 for the Public Works. Accumulated sick leave pay is not paid at termination of employment and therefore is not included as a liability in the financial statements. On note 4, the economic dependency, the Wagoner Public Works, I should say authority, I'm sorry, not Public Works City, is dependent on the Grand River Dam Authority for their purchase of electricity used for resale. For the year ended June 30, 2025, the Wagoner Public Works Authority purchased $4,642,488 worth of electricity from GRDA compared to $5,016,309 the prior year. I should have changed that. Page 24 goes over your capital assets. So the top portion is the governmental funds. At June 30, 2024, the balance was $7,811,921. There were additions and deletions of $1,795,114 during the year, and the current year depreciation was $725,312 for your ending balance of $881,723. Down below is the proprietary funds. The beginning balance at July 1st, 2024 was $15,987,429. Additions of $393,589. Depreciation of $993,536 for your ending balance of $15,387,482. On note 6, it goes over the accounts receivable held June 30, 2025. For the governmental activities, there were taxes receivable of $493,189. For the business type activities, the EMS had 879,756 accounts receivable, and the PWA had $882,972, for a total for the business of $1,762,728. Page 25, sorry. Towards the top, it goes over the due to and due from each fund. I can try to explain this chart, but it all amounts to zero. It all equals out. Note 9 goes over the related parties, which included the Economic Development Fund, giving money to the Wagoner Chamber of Commerce for $20,000, and to the City of Wagoner Economic Development Authority for $56,025, for a total of $76,025. Also, in October of 2006, the Wagoner Hospital Authority changed from an organization holding real property for a lease to an operating hospital. The outstanding balance on that as of June 30, 2025 was $2,153,754. On December 6, 2016, the city signed a guarantee agreement with First Bank and Trust for a loan dated July 21st, 2015 for $1 million. The balance as of June 30 was $155,740. This does not appear to be a reasonable probability that Wagoner Hospital Authority will default, and Wagoner Public Works and City will become liable for the balance. So that's all looking on the up and up. Okay. Note 10 begins going over the notes payable. The first paragraph goes over the accrued compensated absences, which we've already gone over. The second one, it says City-Bank First. This is for 911 police. It was dated June 14th, 2023. The outstanding balance as of June 30, 2025 was $60,576. Page 26, the first one, the OWRB 2008 stimulus loan. The ending balance June 30, 2025 was $279,979. The OWRB 2012A loan, outstanding balance was $221,668. The OWRB 2013 loan, the ending balance was $5,918,773. The OWRB 2021B loan, the outstanding balance was still $4,380,000. And then the last one for the EMS, for the ambulances, the total balance on ambulance remount loans is $264,856. On page 27, it puts it all together a lot nicer. The current maturities for all of those together is $555,314, which is what you would have paid during the current fiscal year that you're in. Going forward, it looks like you're still on track to pay everything off in the timeline that they set for you. So, note 13 begins going over your retirement plans. If we go to page 31, I guess it would be the third paragraph down. It says pension liabilities, pension expense, and deferred outflows of resources and deferred inflows of resources. At June 30, 2025, the city's proportionate share of the net pension liability was $1,710,225. The city's proportionate share of the total net pension liability was based on the ratio of actual contributions of $70,233 paid to Oklahoma firefighters' pension and retirement plan for the fiscal year ended June 30, 2025, relative to the actual contributions of $54,088,913 from all participating employers. At June 30, 2025, the city's proportionate share was 0.129847%. And the city recognized a pension expense of $76,516, which was the city's proportionate share of the total pension expense. Okay, if you go over to page 36, we can go over the same for the police pension. At June 30, 2025, the city's proportionate share of the net pension asset or liability was $3,634. The net pension asset liability for the plan in total was measured as of June 30, 2025, and was determined by an actuarial valuation as of that date. The actual contributions were $68,231. The total contributions from all employers was $54,464,695. The city's rate for the year was 0.001208%. For the fiscal year ended June 30, the city recognized a pension expense of $103,582. Okay. Retirement ends on page 38, and then we move on to evaluation of subsequent events. We noted no issues subsequent to the date of the audit or as of June 30, 2025 that would have affected this fiscal year. Note 15 goes over your lease obligations. The total present value of the lease payments was $323,845. Okay, I think that's that. Page 40 is just a supplemental schedule of proportionate share of the net pension liability. These are the same numbers we just went over in the notes. It's just in a comparative view for all the prior years. There's nothing really you can do to control any of the proportionate share numbers. It just is what it is. So the first one is for the firefighters' pension, and the second page is for the police pension. These are just comparative with the prior year. Page 42 begins our internal control letter. Again, we noted no issues, so this is our standard letter. If you're still with me, do you have any questions?
Any discussion? I do have one thing, ma'am.
Okay.
Just for the record and everything, I think, first off, I want to thank you, especially being here tonight and going over that. This was your firm's first year doing our audit, correct?
Yes.
And so it was your first year and you found no problems.
Correct.
That's something for us to be dang proud of, and I sure appreciate that, ma'am.
Yes. I will note, we've just had a lot of issues personally at the office, or we would have gotten this to you quicker, and I imagine going forward it will go quicker as we won't have to set up new worksheets and new workbooks for you guys like we had to this year as a first-time client, so.
Sure appreciate that. Entertain a motion.
So made.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call a roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
We'll have some things for you to sign.
Okay.
Just saying, you did what you said you would, and we did what we said we would. There's the first one. And this one's-
You need this tonight, can we send this to you?
I absolutely can leave it.
Yeah,
This
sure.
was just your copy.
Okay.
That one's for the PWA. That's just our letter saying we did what we said we would. There's nothing to sign on that one. Invoice for that one. And we have the city. And this will be the letter you sign.
Okay.
That one. And that will be your copy of our management letter. And then saying with the Economic Development Authority.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 22 is adjournment.
So made.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Meeting adjourned at 8:18. I'd like to call the Wagoner Public Works Authority regular business meeting April 6th at 8:19.
Item number 1, consider approval of minutes, March 2nd, 2026.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Wright.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Item number 2, consider approval or denial of claims for March 2026 to include WPWA to include numbers 163 through 183, WPWA capital projects numbers 11 through 12.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
So made.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Wilson.
No.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Item number 3, consider ending the probation period on the following employee or take other action. Water wastewater distribution, Caden Benton.
Caden's hire date was October 6, 2025. That's no change in his rate at $15.90 an hour, and it's going to be effective today, April 6, 2026.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Thank you, council.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Item number 4, consider approval of contractor's pay application number 9 in the amount of $208,283 from Darris Contractors LLC for WAG 23-02 wastewater treatment plant headworks per recommendation from Infrastructure Solutions Group LLC, or take other action.
This is the same as in
So made.
city. Have a motion. Renee, second by Anthony. Please call roll.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Wright.
Gayla.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
Item number 5, consider approval of contractor's invoice number 1463 in the amount of $49,800 from Drake Construction LLC for WAG 19-01 stormwater project end sections per recommendation from Infrastructure Solutions Group LLC, or take other action.
The same as in the city.
So made.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. Please call roll.
Wright,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Thomas. Item number 6, consider accepting and approving audit for the Wagoner Public Works Authority for the fiscal year ending 6/30/2025. Ralph Osborne, CPA, or take other action.
Entertain a motion.
So made.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Item number 7, consider approval of change order number 1 from Haynes Equipment for wastewater treatment plant headworks improvements, materials only, per recommendation from Infrastructure Solutions Group LLC, or take other action.
Council, once again,
So made.
have a motion to entertain a second.
You say $40.
Second.
Please call roll.
Wright,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Yes.
Thomas. Item number 8, consider approval of the purchase of a 2026 Freightliner M2106 4x2 Load King chip truck from Custom Truck in the amount of $122,600, or take other action.
Council, if you remember, we talked about it in budget. I believe we're budgeted right at 128,000. Is that where it was, Laura?
We have at least
Yeah,
that much.
yeah, we have it covered. Jordan's done a lot of research, warranty on it, everything. Believe it's in, is it in Tulsa?
No, the unit's in Virginia.
Okay. So, but Antonio likes it. This is, what we're comfortable going with. It's not the exact same thing that we talked about in the past with the bucket on it, but our guys like it, and, we're needing a truck. So this is where we're at, and, like the council's blessing to go ahead and purchase it.
I'll make a motion. That we purchase this 2026 Freightliner for $122,600.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Item number 9 is unscheduled public appearances.
There were none.
Departmental reports.
Ladies and gentlemen, the electric crew's been out working, as well as the line crew. They've been fighting the wind. They've had some poles go down. One of the more notable places is over by the car wash, by the hotel over there. They've had a line of poles go down. They had to work through the night on. Water guy's been busy fixing leaks, all shapes and sizes, and wastewater department's been using that sewer camera that we got them here a while back, and they're raising manhole lids now. The water and sewer plant's been doing basic repairs around and beginning to get into their mowing season, and they've been working with DEQ on a few items, and we've been going in that and making sure their paperwork's up to date. Just want to give a special thanks to the shop for keeping all these pieces of equipment running and keeping us going. So we've got a lot of good guys down there at the shop, and we're sure thankful for them.
Anything else? I left something off my chairman's report. It's kind of,
It's too late.
well, my wife's gonna get on to me for forgetting it, but it was something really big. My son's gonna be a brother. So, number 2 is on the way, so
Congratulations.
that's all I have.
All right. On that note, adjournment is number 11.
So made.
Have a motion, a second, please call roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
and Hamilton.
Oh, yes.
Meeting adjourned at 8:28. Thank you.
They said, right, you didn't even.
Thank you.
I'm not taking my medicine.